I want to show that even in the present, there are architects who assume the cosmic dimension of life and try to build accordingly. And Takasaki Masaharu, a contemporary architect, does just this. Here he is contemplating actually a house that he in fact built, and you are going to see it. Takasaki Masaharu, the architecture from cosmos. This person, Claudia Fugetti, wrote on collateral.al. Again, architecture from cosmos. Most of the time, architects forget even the word cosmos. They don't even think about it. So Takasaki Masaharu, born in 1953, is one of the most interesting and original architects working in Tokyo today. And Tokyo is not deprived of important architects. Best known for his creativity in the creation of cosmic architectures. It is curious to know that although the artist, that's how he is described as an artist, he's an architect. Think about this. The artist has been creating very interesting structures for over 20 years. He is not well known outside of Japan. It should be added, however, that recently the Japanese Institute of Architects awarded him as the most important young architects in the country. Well, recently he's not so young any longer. Maybe he's young in spirit. Takasaki's projects combine organic and mythological. Let's repeat. Combine organic, his projects, organic and mythological. What could that be? Mythological? What architects today think about mythology? Well, apparently he does. He describes his architecture as an environmental being that connects humanity with the cosmos. Cosmos. These philosophies are manifested in the use of egg-shaped elements, diffused light to create mystical interiors, columns, and inclined planes. The Kagoshima Observatory in southeast Japan was built in 1995 and was to be an important astral observation site. The small red buildings at the foot of the structure house several laboratories and were originally designed for researchers. Unfortunately, the work in question never got the recognition hoped for, and today is assiduously assaulted by tourists who consider it an extremely original and unique construction, and so it is. So check out Takasaki Masaharu's Instagram profile and the book Takasaki Masaharu, An Architecture of Cosmology. Are we thinking of cosmology today? Very few of us, if at all. But it is immensely important to understand that we are not alone in this universe. There is such a thing as cosmos. And Buckminster Fuller correctly said that the problem with the so-called the environment is that the environmentalists is that the environment is everything outside of us without us, while cosmos is everything outside of us plus us. So I think we should consider again what cosmos means and try to connect with what is above, what is below, what is to the left, what is to the right, what is within ourselves, the great mystery of existence. So Takasaki Masaharu, that's what he said. I look on building architecture as an opportunity to consider human relationships and also natural relationships. I consider architecture the best composite art with which we are able to engage all five senses. In addition, I think that architecture is the king of lives. Well, wishful thinking. Things such as music and sports move people momentarily, but the impression made by architecture is lasting, and it expands our cosmic view and our human consciousness. Are we thinking about expanding our human consciousness through our buildings? Very few of us. by considering architecture the king of life, maybe it's better to say the queen of life, and by experience of the architectural space based on the human consciousness, the transformation of consciousness is brought about, and what I term, meaning him, Takasaki Masaharu, what I term the new earthian human, the new earthian human, although this is a little bit redundant because the word human comes from humus, which means earth. So to say earthian human is actually redundant. The human is earth, is considered a being who has decided to live in tune with the earth, that does not care about societal constructs such as a school or a city. Well, I don't know about that, but anyway, let's move forward. Kihoku Astronomical Museum, here it is. Surprise, surprise. What does the rationalist think? You know, the timid rationalist who only thinks that there are right angles and only the T-square and the rectangle can be used to do architecture. Well, it's not true. So Takasaki Masaharu is confusing us, is provoking us, and I'm glad he does. Unfortunately, he used concrete, and concrete pollutes, but when he built, there wasn't so much concern with pollution or the climate warming. But I still think it's a remarkable building. Well, a little bit neurotical, but maybe appropriately so for our time. I'm sure the great Persian polymath that we are paying homage to would not have built an observatory like this. But we are in the 21st century, are we not? And I still think it's a very impressive building. And yes, the functionalists would protest that there are many things here that are done so-called uselessly, but I think the emotions that the building should provoke are not useless. And so the artistic expression of a building is not something that we should ignore. Anyway, Japan, as we know, is one of the few countries that still experiment copiously in architecture, and perhaps not only in architecture. And bravo to them. You know, they are not timid. They experiment a lot, and I wonder why we don't do it. Anyway, an observatory, and it does look like an observatory. How exactly it functions like an observatory, I do not know, but it does evoke. It's a museum, I understood, but also an observatory. Anyway, I find it very interesting because it is really about, it communicates a desire to communicate with what we call cosmos. Takasaki Masaharu. He also built a few houses, and we are going to see them. But even those houses do have a so-called cosmic dimension. Again, dear students, don't be timid. Express yourselves, express your emotions. Surprise even yourselves, surprise yourselves. Unfortunately, I know you'll receive grades, and if you make something like this in the School of Architecture, you'll be punished severely, which is very, very sad. This is a building which is unconventional, but then creativity itself should be unconventional. In a way, some kind of a new temple, no? Some kind of a modern temple. We cannot be like, Iktinos and Kallikrates on the Acropolis, the Parthenon. We cannot be like this any longer. We have to find different ways of manifesting our wonder in front of the mystery of existence and life. These are the research spaces for the, for the scientists working there. Themselves kind of interesting, are they not? Anyway, it's an architecture that unsettles, those who have expectations from only a certain kind of architecture. But there shouldn't be limits, really. There shouldn't be. I understand why the tourists are flooding that area in Japan to see this building, because it is special, you know, it is special, and it somehow does connect with our time. You know, it shows you know, the complexities of our time, the distortions, the instabilities of our time, maybe also the longing of our time. Now, another one, the Tamana City Observatory Museum, a little bit different from the previous one, but still, yes, it's sculptural. It's unsettling again for those who are timid or who have, you know, certain expectations in architecture. There is a certain heroic dimension in these works. Are we thinking about the heroic architecture, but a heroic architecture which is not arrogant? Because this is the problem, not to mimic, not to inflate our chest. That's not true heroism. I think a true hero is modest. Are these buildings modest? Maybe they don't appear to be very modest, but I don't find them really arrogant. No, I don't think they are arrogant. Yes, they are audacious, but I wouldn't call them arrogant. It's almost like a quest through architecture for a new dialogue with the gods. That's what I see. That's what I see here. But the dialogue is difficult to carry today, or to start even, because we kind of killed what we call the sacred. But the way towards what we might call the sacred is this way, not mimicking past forms, but being loyal to the time and the space we are in, that is in the present. I personally identify psychologically with the physical realities of such buildings. I find they belong to our time. Now look at this. This is a house. Can you believe it? I believe it. I believe it and I like it. Why not? Okay, it's not very modest. I agree. It's not for everybody. But it's unique, isn't it? And I thought about this, you know, about exception. Certain parts of the world, including in where we are, exceptions are not encouraged. But then how are we to achieve the exceptional? Because the word exceptional derives from exception. You cannot be exceptional unless you are an exception. So personally, I would strongly encourage the quest for excellence, the quest for what is exceptional. And in order to be exceptional, you have to be an exception. Now, a house from 2009 of the same architect, look at it. You know, yes, it's complicated. Yes, it's even disturbing. But I think psychologically, the physical reality of this house might tell the truth, maybe the truth of our own soul. Yeah. 1990, Takasaki Masaharu. Bravo to him. Art topology, Takasaki Masaharu. Japan rises again. This is the title of an article I found about him. And I like this again. Japan rises again. It's a country quite capable of giving birth to itself over and over again. Bravo to them. The Zero House. What a nice name for this house, which we already saw. It's quite a provocative zero, isn't it? Yeah, bravo to him. Even if when it is affected, because you see, it's not polished with, you know, with finishes. I like it even more because of it. It is robustly honest or sincere. I like this house very much. Is Tadao Ando more interesting? I wouldn't say so. I like Tadao Ando, I respect him, I admire him, but there are other architects in Japan, as you can see. An interview with Takasaki Masaharu you can find on this website if you want to make a screenshot of this screen. If you are interested in the works and in the thoughts of this Japanese architect, Takasaki Masaharu. Again, images of the house, another house that he built. And here he is in Poland. He was invited in Poland by a school of architecture. I don't know exactly, maybe in Krakow. And another image from another house. Some, some parts of my presentation need some improvement because there is a collage of some images not yet structured properly. But anyway, this is just a presentation that wants to stir up your curiosity, and then you can explore further on your own. And this is beautiful about our time, that you can actually, from the comfort of your home, explore whatever theme interests you. You have access. You don't even need to go to the library. You can find a lot of material on the web, just as I did with what you see here. Takasaki Masaharu, the cosmic dialogue. Here he is lecturing, and I am a little bit envious of him because very, very rarely I had the occasion to have so many students with me in Sala Frescelor in Bucharest. But what can I do? Architecture is beautiful as an intellectual construct, as an adventure, and which engages your imagination, your longings, your intellect, your brain, your heart, everything, and if it is an adventure, then you breathe better. I'm sure of it.